The ocean-to-ocean Cayuco race. Once a year, towards the end of Panama's dry season, athletes from the world over come together for this extreme sporting event. This rare adventure takes place in the waters that unite the two largest oceans. Paddlers will cross from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean in a handmade indigenous Cayuco. The Cayuco race starts out in the city of Colón at the entrance from the Atlantic Ocean to the Panama Canal, one of the 7 wonders of the world. 86 Cayucos will embark on a 3-day race through the canal and across to the Pacific Ocean and the coast of Panama City, the capital of the Republic of Panama in the heart of the Americas. Participants from Panama and abroad have been training hard for this test of physical and mental endurance, where teamwork and perseverance are up against nature's forces. The race is approximately 40 miles of open water, lakes, and the locks of the Panama Canal. Each team is made up of 4 paddlers racing against time and the difficulties they encounter as days go by. The Cayuco race has been going on in Panama for 54 years and started as a race organized by the Boy Scouts of America, with only 7 boats in its first year. Today, it is an international event, soon to become as widely known as the Paris-Dakar Rally or the Tour de France. There are 3 main categories in the race. The most competitive one is the male trophy category, with young men from ages 14 to 21. Then comes the female trophy category, the co-eds, and the open category for people of all ages. Team Chava, which in Embara Wunan dialect means brother, is by far the favorite team this year. The Chava has won the race for 4 consecutive years and is looking for a win this year to make it 5 in a row.
For the past years, the boat that's always won is the Chava. It's been thanks to, crude practice, basically. Just pure power and everything, because, the boats in Gamboa, they're a lot more organized. There are a lot more technique and everything. Here it's just you come out and paddle. You really have nobody guiding you. Everything is up to your own. I really don't know what to expect, because there's a lot of boats that are coming on strong.
The Chava team is from the Balboa Racing Club, and they train mostly in Diablo on the Pacific coast. Against them is the Gamboa Racing team located near the Chagres River, the main source of water for the canal. Jay Gibson and his wife Lori run this team. Jay has been involved somehow or another with the ocean-to-ocean race since he was a child. He used to paddle when the race was only open to Americans in the canal zone. He is now a boat builder and the coach for his teams.
Well, there's always controversy. There's always, you always want to beat your opponents. I've got 5 teams that want to beat our opponents.
Those are just male, Chris.
They want to beat each other. You've got all kinds of that same controversy right here. Everybody wants to win. Yeah, we're not gonna lie about that. I'd be lying to myself.
The Gamboa Club has some very good teams this year. There are at least 3 top boats that can definitely make the Chava team sweat. First is the Anacardium, second the Carioca. And then there is the Juan Bate, a Cayuco named after the infamous Johnny Bates, the voice of the Cayuco race.
This race is the uniquest race in the world, because you're going into salt water, then you're coming into lake water, and then you're going back out to salt water from the Atlantic to the Pacific. I always call it the 50-mile ocean-to-ocean Cayuca race. Well, when I was a scout, I got into it, and I paddled for 5 years, 65 and up, and the best I ever did was 3rd.
The favorite this year in the female trophy category is the Catalina. They are the returning champions. Winners of every stage of the race in 2006, they are certainly the team to beat.
Hopefully we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
For the male open age category, record holders Extreme Effort have gone through rigorous training to repeat their winning performance.
Well, basically, if you consider doing a lake's a practice where it takes most crews about 3.5, 4 hours. And if you're paddling, about 60 strokes a minute, 4 hours, do the math how many strokes that is. So, continuous paddling like that is really, really intense.
What does it feel like at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, usually we're passed out. It's killer.
Today is the big day. After months of training and getting their Cayucos ready, teams will have to prove what they've got. This year, there are many international participants, with teams coming all the way from Spain, Britain, France, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, the US, and Canada, all of them seeking the opportunity to paddle coast to coast across the isthmus, proving their strength, skill, and endurance. The teams are ready to come from the salty ocean waters into the fresh waters of the Panama Canal. The starting line for the first leg of this 3-day adventure is the Cristobal Yacht Club in Colón City. Colón has historically been a trading city where cargo comes in from the Atlantic and is transported to the Pacific. From the days of the Spaniards and later the pirates, Colón has served as an entry port for merchandise from all continents. Today it is home of the world's second largest free zone and the 2007 ocean-to-ocean Cayuco race. Today's race is 7 miles long and will take the paddlers all the way to the first set of locks of the canal, the Gatun locks. The main hazards of this route are the winds and the rough tides of the open seas that can easily make a Cayuco swamp.
What do you like about the Cayuco race?
It's fun, inspiring.
It brings 4 people together in an incredible experience that you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's an obsession.
It's empowering.
Passing the logs and going from one ocean to the ocean, it's a story you can tell for years afterwards. It's a fantastic experience.
I think it's going to be a wonderful race. I'm just waiting for it to all get together and just start, the starting gun.
There are 86 Cayucos competing this year. Paddlers face 95-degree temperatures and above and 98% humidity. The record time for this leg of the race is 44 minutes 9 seconds in the trophy category. Top teams expect to break it. The lake seems to be in good racing condition. However, midway through the race, rain came down. And when it rains in the tropics, it pours, making the bailer work hard to avoid flooding. After the rain cleared up, teams are nearing the finish line at Gatun Landing North. This is the final stretch of the race. Ahead of the pack is Team Chava, paddling at a great pace, overcoming the waves and the rain. They're closely followed by the Juan Bate No Slack team. These surprising newcomers are holding their own against the Chava, nose to nose for the lead all through the race. They're only seconds away from each other as they approach the finish line. But Team Chava powers up and prevails. After a difficult first race, Team Anacardium, one of the favorites from the Gamboa crew, came in a disappointing 3rd place. In the co-ed category, Rapid Transit had a great race. Paddling with heart and soul, this independent team broke the co-ed category trophy class record with a time of 47 minutes 13 seconds.
It was very, very tough. It was really rough out there today. We took on a lot of water, but we made it through. One of our teammates' shoulder went out, and we still got first, so it was really exciting.
Good race.
Good race.
So after stage 1, the standings are Team Chava in first with a time of 44 minutes 53 seconds. In the female category, Team Rio Teta defeated the Catalina. Rapid Transit takes the co-ed, and the Snafu defeated Extreme Effort in the male open age category. The first stage of the race is over. This was a 5-mile sprint with strong and unexpected waves and current. Some teams are happy with their performance. Some think of a new strategy for the next stage. And others are content with having reached the finish line after a difficult day. Team Chava had problems in the sandbar, which made them slow down considerably, but they recovered and were able to overtake the speedy Juan Bate in the last stretch of the sprint.
We think the race is going to be decided tomorrow. Tomorrow is the lake, the big day. 20 miles out there. It's only 5 miles. It's no big deal. Tomorrow, we're going to see who gets to buoy 93 first, I think that boat's gonna win the race.
In the spirit of good sportsmanship, there was also a warm reception for the close to last place team Centenario 2 from the U.S., who had many difficulties throughout the race.
America, number one! Number
Congratulations, we're so proud of you, though.
Well, we swamped 6 times.
Hey, no!
We finished.
A little confession is, before today, we had a little trouble getting in after a swamp. But yeah. We swamped six times and we got back in.
Got back in the boat every time and we kept going.
It must have been the salt water, but
more buoyant.
The Cayucos for the ocean-to-ocean race have to comply with a peculiar set of regulations. First, they need to be taken from one dugout tree trunk and be handmade by Panama's traditional indigenous Cayuco builders. Once the boat comes in from the indigenous village, the experts in the city shape them and polish them to make them as fast and stable as possible. Each Cayuco is different from the next and has to be handled according to its needs. Some are better to catch waves. Some prove to be best in calm waters. It's the combination of the Cayuco and its paddlers that can make the difference. The paddlers themselves usually take care of their Cayucos and get custom paint jobs with their team name on them. Then they're ready for the race. A racing Cayuco is approximately 18 inches tall and fits a crew of 4. The total length is around 30 feet. These measurements are very different from the standard Cayuco used by the indigenous people for transportation, which are usually wider and flatter. Controlling and maneuvering a Cayuco is definitely a team effort. Each team member plays a key role. At the bow is the pacer, who dictates the tempo for the crew. Then there's the powerhouse, who cheers the crew to keep up their spirits and paddle hard. Third is the bailer. When there's excess water in the Cayuco, he or she takes it out. And then there is the steerer, who gives the boat direction by paddling at either 45 or 90-degree angles. And when there is a sharp turn, by thrusting the paddle in the water upright. The only one who sees the whole team and gives commands to correct their actions.
This is Cayuco. It's an indigenous form of transportation, original here to Panama. This is the only place in the world where we use these kind of crafts and to realize an event of this magnitude from ocean to ocean.
The next stage of the race will be through the Gatun Lake, the largest body of water in the Panama Canal. It was created between 1907 and 1913. Upon its completion, the Gatun Lake was the largest man-made lake in the world. The damming of the river flooded the original wooded valley. Almost a century later, the stumps of the old mahogany trees can still be seen rising through the water. The Cayucos will take a small shortcut channel, the Banana Cut. This route is used by the canal launches and yachts to cut a little time off the crossing and avoid the heavy ship traffic.
A couple of years ago, when we were transiting through the locks, there was a woman next to us, and she said that she had been an Olympic gold medal kayaker, and that she's been traveling around the world doing races everywhere in the world, and she had to come to Panama because it's the only one where you can paddle from one ocean to the other.
This is the longest leg of the ocean-to-ocean Cayuco race. The teams will paddle their way across the Gatun Lake, arriving in Gamboa, where they'll pull the boats out of the water and get ready for the third and final day of the race. The record time to beat is 2 hours, 46 minutes, 49 seconds, set by the Chava in 2004. Team Chava is confident they can do better. Yesterday's race put Chava in the lead for the male trophy category, but only by a few seconds.
What we're trying to accomplish here is get as much distance as possible from the second place. I mean, from past years and everything, I mean, people have won only this race and lost the other 4, and still they win the ocean to ocean.
In the female trophy category, the favorite, Catalina, fell to Team Rio Teta and must make up lost time in this second race.
Very ready. Born ready.
Today's leg is considered the most important part of the race because it is the longest. Winning teams can create a wide gap of time between them and those coming behind them. Since time is cumulative for the 3 days, it's almost impossible to catch up in the last day, which is made up of 3 short sprints.
You guys have to move to your right. Make room for the boats coming in.
But the Cayuco race ain't the same as today. Today is more competitive. We used to drink the lake water. Now they got tubes, they got faster paddles, they got streamlined boats, and they got a stroke. We used to pull and stop, pull and stop. But now these guys, they do 70 to 80 strokes a minute. Can you imagine doing that for 3 hours? They got to be in top condition.
The second leg of the race is on. The Cayucos follow a clearly marked buoy route through the canal, around the lakes and islands following the deeper waters south from the Gatun locks, and then east. Anacardium takes off with great pace, despite the fact that a crew member had suffered a shoulder injury and couldn't practice for 2 weeks before the race. They're closely followed by Team Cayuco, and not far behind, the surprising first-year team Juan Bate No Slack, leaving the returning champs Chava back in 4th place. Team Snafu, who trains in Tampa, Florida, and come to Panama just a couple of weeks prior to the race, have taken the lead in the male open category. Close behind is Team Extreme Effort. Team Saw A is showing it's got what it takes to keep up with the more experienced crews. In the female trophy category, the Catalina maintains the lead, while Rio Teta always has them in sight. But this race belongs to the Anacardium, paddling with incredible intensity. They were able to overcome heat and exhaustion. In these amazing natural surroundings, teams are fighting it out, paddling close to Barro, Colorado Island, the Smithsonian Institute's Tropical Research Center. The teams near the finish line after continuous paddling for nearly 3 hours, covering over 21 miles. The finish line is reached, and the Anacardium arrives victorious. Team Cayuco also put on an incredible effort and deservingly comes in second. Team Chava gets to the finish line 4 minutes behind the leader. Tables are turned. The favorites must now come from behind. The Catalina has gone from a slow start to reminding everyone why they are the 3-time female trophy class returning champs, once again taking first place in this second leg of the race. Day 2 proved to be as hard as it was expected, with race times ranging from 2 hours and 53 minutes for first place up to 4.5 hours for the slower teams. Time gained on the opponents will be very valuable, just as time lost will be hard to make up. It was a day in which many teams suffered some sort of physical setback. This was the case for Team Rio Teta, winners of the first leg of the race, who fell behind due in part to injuries. The Anacardium, today's big winner, is confident and happy with their performance.
We came in first day in the lake. We were able to cut some time from yesterday. Yesterday we came in 3rd place, but with what we did today, I think we're back on top. We have to keep on with our concentration, get our hopes up, because tomorrow it's still the race not over yet, and try to finish on the top.
Tomorrow going through the locks will be fun, and at the same time will be very, very hard because there are a lot of boats going for the gold.
How are you feeling physically?
Yeah, really tired. I can barely walk and speak.
In Day 2, Anacardium took first in the lake, while the Catalina came back to win the female category. Rapid Transit keeps on their winning streak in the co-eds, as well as the Snafu in the male open category. This is the third and final day of the Ocean to Ocean Cayuco race. Beginning in Gamboa, paddlers are taken through Gaylord Cut, all the way through Las Cruces Landing, the Panama Canal Authority's facilities at the Pedro Miguel locks. Today, all paddlers are in for a unique experience. They are to cross 3 sets of locks of the Panama Canal. Large ships usually pay fees of $100,000 or more to cross, and the lowest toll ever paid was 36 cents by Richard Halliburton, who swam along the canal in 1928. The canal traverses the Isthmus of Panama, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. It's had an enormous impact on shipping between the two oceans. Construction of the canal was one of the largest and most difficult engineering projects ever undertaken. The first attempt to construct a canal began in 1880 under French leadership. After this attempt collapsed, the building of the canal was completed by the United States in 1914, when the canal became operational. The building of this 48-mile-long canal was plagued by problems ranging from tropical diseases to landslides. As many as 27,500 workers are estimated to have died during the construction of the canal. Today, the canal is being expanded, and a third, wider set of locks is expected to be completed by 2015. After yesterday's performance, the Anacardium is in the lead. There are several teams close behind them with under 2 minutes to make up. But today's sprints total under 2 hours, making it very difficult for those teams to come from behind.
It's part of the race. It's like a canal, there are no trees at all, and it's all rock. So, I mean, the heat just like bounces back in. It's like a oven, basically. I mean, extremely hot.
In the female trophy category, things are very close, setting up a final race showdown.
Everything you got right now, you put on the table from start to finish. It's 1 hour. 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's nothing. There's no pacing. It's a sprint. Okay. All right? This is it. This is it.
Today's the heat. You can look out right now. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's going to be a hot one. No wind blowing. So it's going to just be outright hard paddling. Between the lakes, I'm not sure. It's going to be a short, quick sprint, and then out we go to the Pacific Ocean, and there we go, another Cayuco season under the belt.
The third leg gets off to a flying start, especially for the Chava. Quickly, top teams begin to break away from the pack. Team Juan Bate is relentless in this sprint. The Chava has a small lead, but begins to show signs that something is wrong as others gain speed. Now it is Team Juan Bate's turn to shine. Power up and go full speed ahead. Teams focus on their stroke and maintaining pace and balance throughout the sprint. At a certain point, your body needs a large increase in power to receive a small increase in speed. The best strategy is to get out fast and then settle into your race pace, working on getting the most efficiency you can from your body and the pull of your blade in the water, just like Juan Bate has been doing all throughout the leg as they approach the finish line, displaying incredible determination for a very young team. Now they finally achieve victory. This team has gotten faster with each leg of the race. An all-out performance, taking first and leaving everyone else behind. The past 2 days have taken their toll on many of the paddlers. Ambulances are standing by at the finish line to give first aid to those suffering from heat exhaustion, muscle atrophy, and other injuries. Teams have to deal with the pressure of competition and coming to terms with being able or not to continue the race. Chava's steerer fell victim to the extreme temperatures witnessed here today. He'll have to make a decision whether to stay in the race and be exposed to more heat. With one man down, Chava's chances of making it to the top 3 will be slim. This short stretch starts out at the Pedro Miguel locks and ends at the northern entrance of the Miraflores locks.
This is your coordinator. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, wave your paddles.
The Cayucos are now inside the locks and ready to cross the canal, just like any other ship would. The 3 sets of locks in the 2-lane canal work as water elevators that lift the ships to the level of the Gatun Lake, 85 feet above sea level, and later lower them back to sea level on the other side of the Isthmus of Panama.
Using the gravity, we raise the Cayucos 85 feet above the Atlantic Ocean. I close the gate behind the ship, I seal the gate, I close the valve. Once my gate and my valve are sealed, then I proceed and come to the following level. So in 7 minutes, I shall have this equal to sea level. Then that means I can open my last set of gates.
I got instructed to release their life jackets. Let me know when they can take off their life jackets, please.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
This is the shortest leg of the race. The record for this race is 9 minutes and 53 seconds. There is no room for pacing in this race. It's all out full speed. Chava, although one of its members suffered an asthma episode in the previous race, is in the lead. And yes, we have a race record. It's 9 minutes and 51 seconds. That's the first male trophy category record in this race.
The next lower chamber is sea level, okay? When we get to that sea level and the chambers open up, we will let the water settle down, and then we will be ready to commence the last leg of the 2007 Ocean Cayuco race.
Once inside the locks, the Cayucos are tied together in rows and towed to their starting positions. When the water level goes down, they are untied and ready to go. This is the last stretch of the race. The teams will sprint into a wavy Pacific Ocean and to the finish line at Diablo Spinning Club. Keeping the boat in a straight line is what counts, and paddling hard. The fastest boats should make it in less than 15 minutes. The Anacardium is the overall leader for the 3-day race, and in a close second is the Juan Bate, just minutes behind. This may be a difficult time to make up in this short sprint. The Anacardium is looking strong, relentless, although Team Juan Bate and the Chava are right behind them. Everyone is giving all they've got. This is it. This is the culmination of an incredible 3-day rally. The crowd has gathered at the finish line, cheering for their favorite teams. Down to the wire, Anacardium and Juan Bate dueling it out to the last drop of strength. Anacardium powers up, showing what champions are made of, pure energy, as they come to the finish line. In the trophy category of the Ocean to Ocean Cayuco race, the winner is Team Anacardium, only 1 minute and 20 seconds ahead of second place Juan Bate, leaving the Chava out of the top 3 in the overall time. In the open category, the Snafu prevails, with the best overall time of all categories. And here comes the Catalina, with another outstanding performance, making them champions 4 years in a row.
We were glad. It was a really hard race. All the boats were really hard this year. Chava, Juan Bate, Pasturas. It was crazy, Carioca. But we're glad we made it. We worked hard during the whole year.
We won. We finished. It was tough, 3 days, but we won. Catalina.
Juan Bate! So you better remember that name for next year.
For the final standings, we have the cumulative overall times. First place male trophy category, the Anacardium. The Catalina for the female trophy category. In the co-eds, winning every leg of the race, Rapid Transit. And the Snafu taking the male open category. It's been a highly emotional and physical 3 days for everyone, including new and repeating champions, as well as first-timers.
It was just breathtaking. I mean, that's what this race is all about. That's what you want. You want the competition to be so incredibly stiff that everybody is anticipating that winner that comes across.
Incredible, incredible race.
The ocean-to-ocean Cayuco race is growing yearly in popularity. From its beginnings 54 years ago with 7 Cayucos in the race, it has now become an international racing event, boasting over 80 Cayucos. The ocean-to-ocean Cayuco race is truly one of the most unique outdoor sporting events in the world today. Next year, it promises to be even bigger. Paddle hard and see you in 2008.
Get up, get out, get somewhere over the bridge, go south to nowhere. The water there is clear, it's singing out to me. I hear it, tell me, can you hear it calling? Come on down to Panama, I'm getting on the quickest flight. Come on down to Panama, I know for sure the time is right. I gotta get up, get out, get going, taking a risk,